Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. So today I'm joined by Tiffany. Tiffany works at our Shout Local SEO team, and I wanted to bring her in specifically because she's been the expert in helping us do more AI visibility. As most of you would have seen, AI has become a bigger and bigger thing since it formed a few years back, and now many users are using it instead of Google search. As part of this, on 19th of May, Google listed a new update saying that they are changing the way search has happened, the biggest update in 25 years since Google launched. And what it's meaning is that things are changing. They're moving to chat based, they're moving away from search based. And so I want to sit down with Tiffany and say, hey, as a small business owner, what can we do? What does this mean for us? What does it mean if I've been getting leads from search, and what should I know? So thanks for sitting down with me, Tiff. So from your experience, is this Google update going to make changes, or is it simply just some marketing hype?
So I definitely think that there's gonna have to be some changes made, or like it is gonna change things. But that's not to say that the tactics or like the SEO tactics or what you're doing won't work. You just have to change it up a little bit. So like a lot of people think that you have your website, it's amazing, it looks good, and that is important, but you need to do more than that now. Like make sure your Google business profile is like up there, and make sure you're on citation pages, and make sure you're on social media, which we all know is very important in this day and age. But yeah, and at the info.
So, so if we flip back on that, Tiff, obviously you said some of your SEO techniques are still going to remain the same today. Now, we've seen a lot of spammy providers in the area, and what they'll do is they'll use generic content. They'll write SEO agency in Southwest, SEO agency in Gordons Bay, SEO agency in Helderberg, SEO, and they do this over and over with very generic, very spun content. That has worked a little bit in Google at the moment, even though they've said it won't, it's against guidelines, all of that. In your opinion, and from what you're seeing, is that being tracked by AI or yeah?
I think what's most important is to like choose an area that you really want to focus on, and then make sure that you're doing content based around that. And obviously you can expand, but like if you have one good area and then you focus on that, you have articles that are showing up in that area specifically. You start ranking in that area, then you expand, you get to those different areas, and you already have that credibility in one area.
I hear you. And obviously, you said now that Google's looking at your Google business profile and your citations as well. So I'm guessing having one area that's shared across all three is quite important.
Yeah, you have to make sure that all of the information matches across any information that you're sharing. So if you say on one page that your business is in this location, and then on your Google business profile it's actually somewhere else, that's not going to work. Then AI is going to look at you and be like, no, no. Um, so that's really important to make sure that everything is the same across all of your platforms.
Wow. And in terms of creating content, volume or quality, like what are you seeing? Because we've seen before sometimes volume is the game. And as I say, you can just spin out lots of content. We've also seen quality is a game. Where do you think it's sitting AI wise?
I would definitely say quality over quantity. And we've seen this working with all of our businesses that we've done, those answers that we're getting. It's definitely quality over quantity, because Google will look at all of the answers you get, and Google likes original answers or original content. So if you're just producing 10 articles saying, yeah, whatever, who's the best plumbing business in Somerset West, it's not going to work anymore. You need to give original content, and there needs to be some input behind it.
I like that. Interesting you say that, Tiff, because a few weeks back I did a podcast with Daniela. Obviously, who oversees our meta ads. Interesting one. Go and have a look at it if you want to see if AI ads are actually worthwhile. But anyway, and we were discussing AI ads, and obviously Daniela was putting a lot of unique opinions in what they are, what they're good for, when they're not good, what to look for, and things like that. And what's so interesting is we created a podcast. We obviously created the podcast, and then we created a blog post off of the information from the podcast. It ranked on page one of Google in 6 hours. 6 hours. If you looked at AI ads worthwhile, poof, there it pops up. And it was really interesting to me. And at the time, I was like, I wonder why, because we didn't do anything fancy or anything else. But as you just said now, it was original content and original opinions.
Yeah, sure. That's so interesting. That's so cool. I mean, 6 hours, anything under 24 hours is really impressive.
So, yeah, so 6 hours was just incredible. Sure. And so, from your work, obviously, as as an SEO expert, how have things changed with changing with AI and now with the new Google update? Obviously before you were spending, I know, a lot of time on content and stuff like that. Where are you seeing now you're spending time on for clients? Is it the same? Is it changed?
So I think content's definitely still important. You need to have that aspect, but we have cut down our content quite a bit to focus on the quality, obviously, but also to have content over different pages. So not just the client's website now. We have citation pages or not citation pages, sorry, PR pages that we need to post on to make sure that Google picks it up from different places. Because the more different websites that your business is on, Google's going to pick that up and be like, "Wow, okay, must be reliable, must be good," and that's really important.
For our audience, PR pages are essentially news websites. So it's getting the business, shared in a news article, in another blog, etc., like that, but in a natural way, so that it essentially points out the customer. And then when AI goes to look, they're seeing all these different websites saying, yes, Shout Local is the best SEO agency in South Africa. Cool, we'll rank them for this, for example, and those sort of things. Am I right in saying that, Tiff?
Yeah, yeah, you're correct. And obviously, we're focusing more on like specific questions rather than best SEO agency in Somerset West. We have, how much does SEO cost per month? Is it worth it to get SEO for my small businesses? And we answer all those, obviously, more specific questions, but we've got a bunch of different questions that people are looking for more often.
So you're finding people are actually asking more specific questions, for example, around the price of SEO services rather than who's the best.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people want a quick answer. So when they Google something with the new Google update, they Google, what's the average cost of SEO in South Africa? And if your business shows up first, which it will, it's like they're gonna click on that and hopefully use it. So yeah, price is definitely important. Location.
That's incredible. So it's location, as you say, it's price, and it's doing it in the right. Wow, incredible. Just it's just interesting how the whole world is like changed, and now it's very question focused, but in like a more natural way. And you've got to try and think, how are people going to ask this question. And as you say, it's not just who's the best. It's probably, do they have XYZ features? Like if you're a plumber, it could be, do you have a call out fee, or can you get here today, or. And if you don't have that information clearly listed, you're just not going to show up.
Yeah, and like before, we used to do keyword research, and it was so much easier because you just said, "Oh, okay, these keywords look good. It'll rank." Now you have to think, is someone actually asking this question? Um,
And I think the other thing that struck me a lot when doing a lot of AI search, when this update came out and trying to understand it a little bit more from my side, is on Google, you have pages and pages of answers. We always joke that where do you bury a dead body? Page two of Google. Anyway, but there are pages and pages that people can scroll. If there's even 10 or 8 to 10 listings on page one, depending on which device you're on. On AI, there's maybe three. You'll be like, hey, how much do plumbers cost in Somerset West? And they'll be like, we looked at plumbers, and 24/7 costs this, and this one costs that, and this one costs this. Boom, there's like two or three options. That's all they'll give you. And so ranking on page one is no longer important. Ranking in the like top two positions is actually yeah, obviously the most important. And Tiffany, a bit of a wayward question, but do you have any ideas of what the next step is for SEO? I mean, obviously, it's a difficult time with how much AI has changed. Do you foresee anything new coming in the future that we don't see now? Yeah.
oh, that's a very tricky question. I think obviously everything always changes. Change is good, as scary as it is good. And there's going to be so much change. I think, like you said, ranking in AI is important. I think they're going to maybe get rid of the whole Google thing overall, and then have the ask function, which most people do prefer. So, like you said, showing up there is important. You're definitely going to have to start focusing more on those different platforms, like we said in the beginning, your social media, and work it in, combine it working together to have your SEO do well, and your AEO now is also important. So, yeah.
And then last question, Tiff. If I was a small business owner, I've been doing a lot of more traditional SEO and I'm worried about how my business is going to do now in the new era of AI. What would your advice be to me?
I would say come to BRBD and Shop Local. Use us. Not a salesy thing, but yeah, I think, you can try a few things. It's always good to try different things, but there's experts for a reason. And yeah.
So, as Tiff said, if you're a small business owner and you're really wanting to rank, we have two businesses, but specifically in this one, when it comes to AEO and SEO, Shout Local is the team to go to. You'll work with Tiff and her team on how to rank in AI. It's not a quick fly by night type system. It's going to take a little bit of time. You're looking at a 3 month period, but you can see some results in your business getting mentioned in AI and ChatGPT. And how cool would it be to say to someone, I just got a client from ChatGPT? If you want to learn more about Shark Local, click on the link below. And otherwise, we'll see you next week.